Okay. Good morning. Here's a song some fella wrote. I went and learned it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. 'Cause in your life you'll have some trouble. When you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Be happy. Ain't got no cash, ain't got no style, ain't got no one to make you smile. Don't worry, be happy. When you worry or wear a frown, that's gonna bring everybody down. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry, be happy. Landlord says your rent is late. You may have to litigate. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. So that's a song somebody wrote. I went and sang it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. 'Cause in your life you'll have some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean those bare necessities, Mother Nature's recipes to bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I'll never be found off my big home. The bees are buzzing in the trees, to make some honey just for me. When you look under the rocks and plants, and take a glance at the fancy ants, and maybe try a few. Oh, the bare necessities of life will come to you. They'll come to you. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. Oh man, I mean those bare necessities, Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Now when you pick a pawpaw or a prickly pear, and you pick a raw paw, next time beware. Don't pick that prickly pear by the paw. When you pick a pear, try to use the claw. But you don't need to use the claw when you pick a pear of the big pawpaw. I'll give you a clue. All the bare necessities of life will come to you. They'll come to you. Look for the bare necessities, simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. Oh man, I mean those bare necessities, Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Bring those bare necessities of life. Well, you love me when my carburetor's busted. Well, you love me when I cannot shift my gears. Well, you love me when I need a new condenser. And when my clutch begins to shoot, will you shed tears? Well, you love me when my battery needs recharging. Well, you love me when I cannot blow my horn. And when my connecting rod is bent, and I no more know 5 cents. Will you love me, oh mama? Will you love me, oh mama? Will you love me when my car wheel no can go? Will you love me when my battery needs recharging? Will you love me when I cannot blow my horn? And when my connecting rod is bent, and I no more know 5 cents. Will you love me, oh mama? Will you love me, oh mama? Will you love me when my car wheel no can go? Oh, Kuipo, will you love me when my car wheel no can go? Let your dreams make you come true. Let your fantasy be your destiny. Let your dreams make you come true. Keep your love alive. Let it come alive. What would you do if you knew you could never lose? What then would you choose to do? How would it be to be free, to live your deepest dream? that you'd succeed. Guarantee that your dreams make you come true. Let your fantasy be your destiny. Let your dreams make you come true. Keep your love alive. Let it come alive. What would you do if you decide the one you tried to hide kept locked up inside, denied? What if that dream that had to wait came again to say that it's not too late today? Let your dreams make you come true. Let your fantasy be your destiny. Let your dreams make you come true. Keep your love alive. Let it come alive. Let your guiding light shine through, calling to the best in you. Let your dreams make you come true. Let your fantasy be your destiny. Let your dreams make you come true. Keep your love alive. Let it come alive. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Thank you. Spirit leads, spirit guides, spirit sees, spirit decides what I need. Spirit provides. I look out the window while spirit drives. Spirit says, let's take a trip along with Cousin Pele on the mighty ship. The trip begins with your birth on the mighty ship called Mother Earth, because spirit leads and spirit guides. Spirit sees, spirit decides what I need. Spirit provides. I look out the window while spirit drives. Spirit says it's lots of fun taking several dozen trips around the sun. You're gonna have a lot of thrills and chills, and then I guarantee you're gonna want to do it again, because spirit leads, spirit guides, spirit sees and spirit decides what I need. Spirit provides. I look out the window while spirit drives. Spirit is much smarter than me, like Einstein times infinity. So I just go with the flow, cause I don't know, but spirit knows. You see, spirit sees, spirit guides, spirit leads, spirit decides what I need. Spirit provides. I look out the window while spirit drives. Spirit sees and spirit guides. Spirit leads and Spirit decides what I need. Spirit provides. I look out the window while Spirit drives. I look out the window while Spirit drives. Thank you. Okay. What's that? Yeah, the road mark.
Good morning. It's 10 o'clock. We're all in our places with smiles on our faces. We're going to start the service. So if you could take your seats, por favor. Good morning, everyone, you all. Welcome to the New Thought Sunday service party celebration. It's a good time to put our cell phones on airplane mode. We all are here today to relax, to be inspired, and to have fun. Today's inspiring service is about improvising. Its topic of the speaker today is the delusional tour, the stories we tell ourselves and how they affect our lives and how we can change them. It's about improvising today, so I'm going to see how much improvising that I can get away with today. I'm the facilitator just for today because many of us take turns facilitating here. My name is Stephen Goss, at least it was the last time I checked. Now, our guest presenter for today is Keli. How do you pronounce your last name? Semelsberger, yes. And I will introduce her a little bit later in the program. And the special musician you've been listening to today with all those good vibes is Dick Franklin. And we do always enjoy having Dick here when he plays for us. So usually at the beginning, right away, we'll start out with a silent prayer or affirmation. But since today is about improvising, I want you all to take time out to stand on your heads for 1 minute. Just kidding. Okay. Actually, I would like you just to sit up straight and to seriously relax. If actually that sounds like an oxymoron. But to set the tone for meditation, I'm going to read something from the great Persian poet Hafiz. And my interpretation of it has something to do with group meditations. And it's titled The Hunting Party. And it goes like this. A hunting party sometimes has a greater chance of flushing love and God out into the open than a warrior all alone. So let's reflect on that a bit, and together we'll take a minute to remember that flushing God out and that behind all worldly appearances, there's only perfection. So if you could take that breath and let it out and close or not for just a minute. I guess that's the signal to come back to this room. Uh, I really like that metaphor of like you can do more in a group than you can alone by combining our consciousness to flesh God out into the open. Now we're going to have a reading from the Science of Mind magazine. So if you could step up to the mic here. And Cindy's going to do the reading for us.
Okay, today we're going to be talking about self-imposed barriers. Louise Hayes, you can hear me? Okay.
Make it a little louder.
Okay, is that okay? Okay, good. Today we're going to be talking about self-imposed barriers. Louise Hay said, if you accept a limiting belief, then it will become a truth for you. Ernest Holmes said, all thought is creative. How much time do you spend in your head each day? I'm not referring to the natural process that flows to us as function. Instead, I'm asking how much time do you spend creating a fictitious reality within your mind each day? For me, it is a lot. If I had to break it down, it would probably be nearly 80% of my waking hours spent creating a fictional world that has little to do with experiential reality. Think about it for a moment. So many of us spend our limited time and profound energy creating immense worlds within based on the opinions of others. We spend time recreating memories which, if mismanaged, bring about the same feelings and emotions that actual experience brought with it. We construct belief systems about other people that don't always hold them in their highest light, and we reinforce limiting ideas about ourselves that place an imaginary barrier on our potential. None of this occurs anywhere except within ourselves. Being the thinkers of our experience, we can add our power to these limiting ideas until they actually become what we believe to be true. Let us release this pattern of thinking and make the longest trek we could embark upon, the journey to the heart. From here, we see we are not these thoughts. Instead, we are that which gives power to our thoughts. In this heart space, we connect with our essence and are free. Live from this space today. And the affirmation is, I'll read it and then you can repeat it back. I am the thinker in my experience and am not at the mercy of my thoughts. I empower the thoughts that flow through my mind today. I use this power to think in an empowered way. Okay, it's kind of a long one, so we'll take it piece by piece. I am the thinker in my experience.
I am the thinker in my experience.
And am not at the mercy of my thoughts.
I am not at the mercy of my thoughts.
I empower the thoughts that flow through my mind.
I empower the thoughts that flow through my mind.
Today, I use this power to think in an empowered way.
Today, I use this power to think
in an empowered way.
way. Thank you, Cindy. That was well done. Now, I would like to say a little bit about what New Thought is and who we are and what it stands for. I'm really not quite sure. I wish somebody would explain it to me. This is where I really get to improvise. So I think we all want to learn how to be in the here and now, right here, right now, and not doing something else. I think that's a goal for many of us. So I believe that to be in the here and now, we have to realize we're improvising all the time and stay conscious about that not bringing our past judgments and opinions into the immediate moment and then react like a robot to whatever's in front of us or we're experiencing. Instead, we can choose what feels like the highest expression. And I'd like to add in a kind of a non-judgmental, relaxed way. Also, the new thought, we believe as we change our minds about things, things change and life changes. This particular spiritual center started out as a Science of Mind church about 50 years ago. It's even older than me. No, I'm older. And after a while, the minister basically bailed out, had to leave. And ever since, the members have been leading the service using many different speakers, many different topics, from different philosophies, but they all do lead to being in the here and now. And we welcome ideas of all faiths, as long as that faith does point to the oneness that is, that particular undescribable power, that consciousness manifesting all creation. And it's almost obvious that this great power enjoys improv, because all you have to do is look around you and you can get a laugh or maybe drama. But together we make this New Thought Center a sanctuary of aloha, where all people feel welcome, and we practice inspiring confidence in each other, just as we are. And I was meditating on confidence this morning. I go, yeah, confidence, that feels great. And wow, if you want to be attractive, just feel confident, because that's really attractive. So now we're going to do miracles and ordinaries. Well, I have it written down, but I forgot. So now we can. Dick, would you please play us another song?
God sitting on a throne in clouds of glory, awesome and alone. Perhaps it's lonely in heaven up above, so they made you and me and everybody up. I'm God's imaginary friend. I'm always game for a game of let's pretend. I'm God's imaginary friend. God loves to watch me caper and cavort. I play along just to be a sport. It makes him happy having me around. You know it simply wouldn't do to let him down. I'm God's imaginary friend, always game for a game of let's pretend. I'm God's imaginary friend. What would you do if you were God and God were you? Once I dreamed I was a butterfly. I woke up and dreamed I was a guy. Am I a butterfly? Am I a man? Or will I wake to find I'm something else again? I'm God's imaginary friend. It's enough to drive you round the bend. Being God God's imaginary friend. I'm God's imaginary friend. Always game for a game of let's pretend. I'm God's imaginary friend.
Ooh, that rocks. We'll do another song soon. So, miracles and ordinaries. Speaking of confidence, anybody out there feel confident enough to share a miracle or an ordinary, just something, a great relief in your life, maybe unexpected? I see people wavering. Okay, well, come on up. Yeah, yeah.
We're using this one. Good morning, everyone. My name is Leah, and as some of you know, my son passed away November 25th, and I've been arranging his celebration of life here on the island, thinking I was only going to be able to be here on the island for half of his cremains. And at 1 a.m, I woke up and I couldn't get back to sleep, and I kept wanting and wishing to go to the other ceremony too on the 27th. All of a sudden, there it was. I have flight credit I forgot about. So I couldn't go back to sleep, and I'm so excited. I've arranged everything. I get to be in 2 places for him because half of his cremains go in the Pacific on California coast and half go here. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Do we have any others, people that like to share? Yeah, come on up.
I have another name change, so prepare yourself. I don't know who I am. God,
Stay
I might climb. Wow, I have to leave these things behind and pick up new things on the path. There are many paths. Oh. I took on the name Jatayu because it's a name of the griffin vulture, Hawaiian griffin vulture. It's the biggest bird in existence, of the flying bird, the biggest flying bird. The Himalayan griffin vulture. But Pasha had a dream. He knew what the dream was. It was a prescient dream, spelled Prescient. Prescient dream. I was named Rob from birth in celebration of Rob Roy. You know who Rob Roy was? I'm a McGregor. But I married Davidson. Peace and warrior. I have many lives of fighting. But I looked up in my book, I was just perusing the book. And it mentioned Peace Eagle. It was referred to by the Eastern Indians, Native Americans, peace seeker. So in this year, it's very important for us to maintain a balance when the coming dissent makes not peace in our heart. So I'm going to be known as Peace Eagle from now on.
Peace Eagle. Thanks, Peace Eagle. Is there any other brave souls out there that would like to share? Thank you.
My name is Lisa, and I'm grateful to be here in Kona today with my dear friend Pauline and her husband Mike, who's not our imaginary friend. He's just at the gym instead of coming with us this morning, but that's okay. And we've been friends for some number of years, and Pauline said, we're going to be in Kona next week. Why don't you come join us? And I thought, oh, I can't. I've just been away for a week over Christmas. I just got back. I can't afford to. I'm doing this. I got to do that. And then I thought, after a while, well, wait, I'm retired. I could go to Kona with them for a week. That would be fun. So, 3 days ago, I checked online and I could get a ticket with my flight credit, with my points from Southwest. Good thing I didn't take that Alaska flight instead, because I think they would have grounded them the next day. But they did have a nonstop, but I didn't take that. So thank you, Southwest. And thank you, Pauline and Mike. I'm so glad I'm here with my dear friends, and I'm glad we came here this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. And that reminds me, are there any people here for the first time today at the New Thought Center? Let's see, maybe 3 hands. So if you wouldn't mind, and even if you do a little bit, could you just say where you're from, your name, where you're from, and what brought you here?
Lisa from San Diego. And we also, 2 hours ago, we listened to the New Thought service from Westlake Village, California, the GTC Center.
GTC stands for Global Truth Center, but Church of Religious Science prior to, and Science of the Mind. And we just celebrated our 60th year anniversary there. I'm Pauline, and I'm from Ventura County, California.
Welcome. Thank you. I saw one hiding out in the back here, right? Yeah.
Hi, my name is Audrey. I was born in China and grew up in Romania. Now I'm here. I found out about New Thought through Jen Lighty. She highly recommended it. So I have a need for community and curiosity. That's why I'm here.
Thank you for sharing. We'd love for you to be part of this community. I'm Stephen.
My name is Sue. I live on the island, and I'm happy to be here.
Welcome, Sue. Dick, are you ready to regale us with another one of your wonderful pieces?
Still works. I ran into a friend who had come to the end of his rope. He couldn't cope, was losing hope, all because he had got no worrisome thought in his brain. It was causing him pain, a lot of stress and strain, all in vain. But if he would put his worry aside, just relax and unwind, take a breath, he would find it feels good to be breathing. It feels good. What a feeling. It feels good to be a human. It feels good to be alive. It feels good. Smelling roses, it feels good. Rubbing noses, it feels good. Wiggling your toes, feels good to be alive. Worry over what was or will be just makes you in the present tense. Anyway, all that was or will be makes you rich in experience. Hence, it feels good. Now you're swinging, it feels good. Ring a ding ding, and it feels good. Go on and do your thing. Feels good to be alive. It feels so darn good just to be alive.
Well, that was great swing with good lyrics. Last call for miracles. Anybody want to share their? Okay. I think I have a miracle. It's every morning, and I wake up and I'm kind of not too sure about the day and who I am. If I just spend a half an hour or so meditating, then I go, oh, phew, okay, it's all right. It actually does feel like such a relief. It's a miracle every morning. Now, Kelly, our presenter has a question for us, and we're going to pass the mic around, take turns answering the question, but please keep it brief. Actually, we have about 10 minutes or so to complete it, so it doesn't have to be too brief, but don't get too long-winded. What's the question?
Well, it bridges perfectly between what we had is the reading, which is just leads right into what I'm going to talk about. And so this question is right in the middle for each of you. It is, what is the limiting belief that you have about yourself or have had about yourself? Either something that is kind of holding you back or something that you've worked through. But what was that limiting belief that you know is not necessarily true? You made it up, but it has helped to kind of like filter your experience. Probably not in the best way. Okay, so what is the limiting belief that you've held about yourself at some point in time?
And try to put that in one or two sentences at the most.
Well, I can tell mine, and maybe this will be a great example. All right, my limiting belief was that if I wasn't doing for people, if I wasn't task mastering, that I was not worthy of love. So I was always doing and doing and doing until I was exhausting myself because I thought that was my passport to love. Instead of realizing I was love. So my limiting belief was that I had to do so much for others, and that way I got taken advantage of, and all these other things happened. So that limiting belief changed how I lived and how I reacted in the world. Once I got rid of that limiting belief and like I am love, I just have to be here, radiate, shifted everything for me. So what would your belief be that probably didn't serve you the best? Does that make sense? I think it makes sense to everybody.
I think in the future, you need to pull that a little way away from your mouth, and it won't ring and the speakers and pop so much.
Okay, how's that?
That's better already.
Okay, great, thank you.
So, well, I'll go ahead. What's my limiting belief? I've realized for a long time is just like I'm not enough, and it's overcoming that's a work in progress. Say your name.
Good morning. My name is Bodie, and my limiting belief, perhaps past limiting belief, is that I'm not enough of, or good enough of a musician, that I must practice so much more in order to be some level of musician. Instead, just realizing I am the music, it's already in me, and I just need to let it flow.
Aloha, I'm Pome Kai, and I was just thinking about something this morning. I was indoctrinated as a child into Mormonism, and I realized that they actually and probably still do, a mantra that it has three parts to it, and I don't remember the other two, so I guess I've completely healed those. But serve others gladly is part of it. And recently, well, maybe not so recently, but yeah, recently, I've just come to the realization that I'm the person I need to serve first. And then whatever wonderful things I have left over after that, I can serve others with. So that's been an interesting journey.
You notice that I'm militaristic on my expressions. It's intense. I've spent many lives in war and killing. And this time I decided to stay out of it. So I cheated the government. I wore fake glasses. Because I've renounced anger. That seems like angry, but I'm passionate about renouncing anger. Jesus also became angry, but contained. Anger is useful, but contained and left behind when it disappears naturally.
My name is Sue, and there are two kind of interconnected limiting beliefs that I've been working to let go of layers. One is that to feel good is selfish, like to be happy is self-serving. But if I may say, it's a little bit similar, like to yours, in that if I don't feel good, then I don't know how I can fully serve others to feel well, to find wholeness. So finding my wholeness and protecting it is very important. And the other kind of component to that has to do with God or the creator, like that he or she is not good or not big enough or is not able enough or doesn't care because of all of the stuff that goes on in the world. So yeah, so I'm happy to, this is the first time I'm making this public, so it's kind of big. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Patty, and I'm going to pass on the question.
I'm letting go of a belief that it appears to not be a limiting belief, but it kind of is anyway, which is that you always got to make more money. When I got involved with metaphysics decades ago, one of the things that people talk a lot about is like prosperity consciousness and abundance, right? So I was always kind of going, yeah, unlimited amounts of money are flowing to me. Hooray. And it worked pretty well enough to get to the island and have enough money. And even maybe a little bit more than enough so I could say to my sweetheart, why don't we go buy a fixer-upper house and make some more money? Look, there's a nice fixer-upper house. And then she pointed out to me that fixer-upper house means a year of driving to Home Depot several times a week, and and dealing with contractors who don't show up, or all kinds of things that you do when you're having a fixer-upper house. And she said to me, "We have enough money." And I was like, "What do you mean you have enough money? You could always like double it and double it again. Unlimited amounts of money, prosperity, hooray." But she finally got through to me like, quality of life, if you're not driving to Home Depot every day, maybe there's enough money and you let the other guy fix up that house. So the limiting belief was, if you got this much money, double it. If you got that much, then double it again. So we're just hanging out on the farm now, watching the chickens.
Thank you, sir. I'm Randy. I'm going to kind of talk about what he's talking about there. Creating abundance. People think it's money. It's really not. Ohana is your wealth management. That's your wealth management. If you realize that, then you know that then everything else is simple. And then what Paul Kai said about serving yourself. I've always given and given and given and given and say it's going to come back, and it always does come back. But sometimes you got to give to yourself, right? And if you don't give to yourself and make time for yourself and make time for the things that you need, and that's where I'm at here right now, then you're not going to get any better until you start taking care of yourself. You can wait for all the energy to come back, and it does come back, but you got to take care of yourself first and make sure you look at that every morning and think of all the beautiful things around you, but also remember you're part of those beautiful things.
I'm Candy. My limiting belief has come from childhood. My parents made all the decisions for me. And so I have a belief that my decisions are not good. I'm not good at it. So trying to move past that, what I'm finding is that speaks of not having faith. And the other part of it is that there's plenty of help. I just need to ask for it.
You got that right, sister. I'm Momi, and daily I struggle with limiting beliefs from childhood of I'm inherently bad and I can do nothing right and that I am worthless. And I'm happy to say it is a worthy struggle to look those in the face and be like, I am worthy and I am a good person.
My name is Sally, and I would say my limiting belief is that I'm not artistic. I had a father that was a great painter, and my sister's a good artist, and my best friend since middle school made a great living and continues to make a great living as an artist. And so I've always surrounded myself with very artistic people, and I always thought, well, I can't do that. But I overcome it regularly by kind of forcing myself. I am taking a ceramics class at Donkey Mill Art Center, and my sister that's an artist continues to give me watercolors and paper and things like that for gifts, and says like, paint me a bumblebee or something. And so I get pushed in that way. So I'm overcoming it and bit by bit. Thank you.
Kai, hi. My limiting belief has always been throughout my life that people are judging me, and that's caused me to be a little bit shy naturally. But my mom said, "Well, don't let shyness keep you from going out in the world." And so I always kind of dealt with the fact that people are always judging. And I think the 4 agreements was like the aha in life, that people are just judging. That's what they naturally do. But it's not about you. It's more about them. So it's been a real process to just because I have a psychic nature. I think we all do. We all pick up that energy that gets projected to us. But the challenge becomes to like stand in our own energy in the midst of that and not let that stop us from being who we truly are. So, yeah.
My name, oh, yes.
All these shares have been right on, great, inspiring, but we're going to run out of time for the speaker to try to do it in as few sentences as possible.
So my name's Johnny, and one of my beliefs is just that I will work hard, and if things aren't getting done, then I will take on the responsibilities of everyone else to get them done that aren't necessarily my responsibility, or I'm not giving them an opportunity to explore that or fail at that. And I've been seeking balance, which is helping where I can, and not going by that thing that I have to work hard to be useful to the world.
My name is Lloyd. My limiting belief is that I'm shy when I first meet people.
My name is Martha, and my limiting belief was trained into me from my Mennonite mother, which was you get to heaven through good works.
My name is Gailing. I grew up in the belief that I could not speak, and I'll be darned, I'm speaking in the microphone.
My name is Charlie. Be mindful and don't take it personally.
I'm Terry. My past limiting belief was I can't cope.
I'm Pasha. My limiting belief is I don't have time to play.
I'm Shana. Years ago, I thought that this question and answer thing was just using time, that we had so much time and it wasn't really anything. But over the years, I've seen that it's been really powerful in my progression. And so I had this belief forever that people are not happy to see me when I walk in the room. I processed it and I came out to people are happy to see me when I walk in the room. Then surprisingly, I processed it more. I'm happy to see people when I walk in the room.
My limiting belief was that I don't deserve what I have because I have more than my other siblings, which there's 6 of us. So my belief is that we do deserve everything that we have, and we've worked for it, and I'm going to enjoy it.
My limiting belief in the past, I think, was that I wasn't enough. I wasn't a good enough mom. I wasn't a good enough daughter. I wasn't a good enough employee. And after a while, I decided I'm just fine. I did the best I could with what I had, and whatever I did was enough.
Hello, I'm Leah, and my limiting belief that I have been practicing adjusting and creating anew is that I am responsible for creating everything I want in my world, and it's not true. I'm learning to manifest simply by asking and allowing it to be given. It is magic to have faith, trust, and love.
My name is Cindy, and my limiting belief due to low self-esteem was that nobody wanted to hear what I had to say. So I took a stand-up comedy class, and all of that changed.
My name is Marcus, and my limiting belief would be regarding health issues and my recovery in that. And I'm just grateful.
Aloha, my name is Eddie, and I think my most here and now immediate
limitation is I come from a administrator background of taking care of many people and many employees and much valued property. So my limitation is I have to have structure for everything. So I'm aware of that. So even for me to be in a free flowing group like this is uncomfortable for me at times because we're past time. We need structure. We're not following the thing. So that's my immediate thing that I work on every day.
My name is Elaine, and my limited thought process used to be it's not okay to set boundaries with people. And it's something I'm learning, and I refuse to have anybody in my life that creates grief or pain for me. That's what I'm working on. Oh, you did?
I'm Barbara, and I grew up feeling like I wasn't heard or seen. And I find that that feeling erupts at times and in arguments, in defending myself. So I'm working very hard at feeling okay about who I am and not having to defend myself constantly.
My name is Byron, and I have experienced limiting beliefs in my life. However, right now I can't think of one, so that's my limiting belief.
Thank you. I'm currently learning animal communication, so I'm struggling with the limiting belief that when I hear a message, I'm making it up.
Wow, that was great. It was very heartfelt. And everybody got down and shared, or they got up, I guess, and shared. The Delusion Tour, the stories we tell ourselves and how to change them. I'm sure you've all heard the expression from people like, what's your story? We all have a story about ourselves, and these stories do shape the experience of our lives. Keli will invite us now to learn to create new stories to replace the ones that keep us stuck or stuck in a painful space. She does improvisational acting, a form of team building. She prefers to call it tribe building. She infuses spiritual lessons along with the fun of improv to make workshops and classes inspiring and hilarious. I'd like to remind you that there will be an improv workshop here at 2:00 this afternoon. And I believe we need more people for that to happen. So I'd like to take a little hand count right now of how many people would like to attend, because we don't have enough signed up yet. So if you signed up already, raise your hand, or if you'd like to attend.
Yeah, we can check after.
I believe it's $20. Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Can you say that louder?
We're good. Because that'll make even less people sign up.
All right.
People run in droves. It's all good.
So I didn't quite get that. It's either
I'll
a
worry
love
about it
donation
after.
or
Yeah.
$20. So and
Later.
okay, yeah. And after you hear her talk, then you can sign up.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
She owns a award-winning comedy theater in Charlotte, North Carolina, and that is now in its 21st year. And she's reopening, in the process of reopening the Big Island Comedy Theater in Hilo. She's also a Reiki master, an author. She has a book out called Improv Shaman, The Transformation of Divine Play. You can get that on Amazon. And she's also into shamanism and plant medicine. So if you would listen up and welcome Keli. Go for it.
Hey, thank you. Well, first of all, I'm so glad to be here again. I love it here. And I'm going to put this right here. I want to thank you all for your shares. I think that is so important. Like, building community is not just all showing up at the same place. Being a community is being vulnerable at the same place. And that question was a very, vulnerable question. And I think it's beautiful how much you all shared, and like even saying, oh, I haven't really spoke this out before. So it's, when you share with other people something that's so vulnerable, you share that kind of a truth. It also makes it not just your burden anymore. You give that away. It's like, I think of those old burdens as things like when you had this great meal and you brought some of it home and you put it in the refrigerator and you forget about it, and then like later you like open the container, you're like, I don't even know what that was. That was so old. Like this is turned into something different. And I think our burdens, if we keep them in too long, turn into something different. They become that weird growing bacterial covered thing that we don't know what to do with and we can't identify anymore. I have no idea where it came from. It's just gross and growing back there. So you have to throw the whole refrigerator away, that kind of thing. So, which is not part of my talk. All right. So the delusion tour, this came out of just a bunch of things that happened. And the first thing, I'll give you guys an admission, and don't get overexcited about this. All right, I don't want you rushing the stage or anything. But 1984 at Fort Mill High School, I was voted Enjoys Life the most. That's right, calm down, keep your seats. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. Which really meant, in Southern speak, she parties a lot. That's what that meant. My parents are so proud. I'm just like, okay. We had no idea. That being, when I was younger, I also had like what I would consider a tough childhood, which I didn't even know till I was older. And people would tell stories about their family vacation, and I'd be like, oh, one time we did blah blah blah, and they'd be like, people would react with the drop jaws, like, I think that's criminal behavior. Like I did not know that people behaved differently than my family, that people hugged each other and, laughed together and got to eat inside with the rest of the family. Like it was bad, but it was mine, right? But what I knew is what my parents did was that drinking and things like that were the way that you behaved. It was how you processed whatever you were going through. And that was my coping skill. So, if we had more time, it would be, what were your limiting beliefs and how did those show up in your life? This is how mine showed up in my life as I was younger. And that went on for many years. How I treated myself was with alcohol. That's how I treated my pain. And I also thought that this is just how you make yourself happier. It was my bypassing mechanism. I thought I was happy. And as I've learned and had visions and pursued a spiritual life, I realized not just my family stories, but the stories I was telling myself were shocking, borderlining on criminal behavior. Like, who talks to somebody the way I talk to myself? Who treats somebody the way I treated myself, based on limiting beliefs that came out of that time. Fortunately, I have had mentors show up, and people have shown up in my life, or visions, or things that I've pursued spiritually that have shown me that there are other ways to think and other ways to be in the world. And I have slowly, one by one, as soon as I thought I got rid of one, or I was like, I have healed that, another one would spring up behind it. I'm like, oh, there's more to do. There seems it's like layers of onions, one after another. So I'll find a limiting belief after limiting belief. So anytime I'm not living I find myself angry or projecting on somebody else. I'm like, well, what is the belief that I have about what's going on here? Because I can't fix what somebody else is doing, but I can look at my belief system. And what am I believing that this person is so wrong? That must mean I think I'm right. Does that make sense? Things like that. So at each time, each level, I had to go in deeper and deeper and really resolve with myself, what are my limiting beliefs, not just about me, but about the world? What are my limiting beliefs about others? Like, I can't trust other people. That's a tough one. Again, like what somebody said, it's okay to ask for help, or that other people are here for us, or that other people want us around. All that stuff was in there, mixed in that container with everything else of all the not enoughness. That no, that I couldn't be trusted, other people couldn't be trusted, which made me very isolated most of my life. Alcohol's a great isolator as well. You think you're around a lot of people that know you, but you're not. Because I didn't know myself. So that was like something that I struggled with for a long time. But as I peeled the things away, I found loving myself was the best way to love others as well. And I heard a lot of that here today of like, I'm not taking care of, taking care of myself means I can take care of others. Loving myself mean I can love others. And we've all heard that, especially, when you get out of a breakup, you're like, well, what should I do differently next relationship? Well, learn how to love yourself. That's so hard. There's no easy path for that. It's just a thing people say. What that really means is also going in those dark places of those concepts you hold about yourself that are unkind and dealing with that. And that's kind of like the shadow work. That's that hard stuff. Not just, well, I'm going to be positive or, the really deep stuff is the stuff you got to excavate that stuff. And that goes in those hard, horrible places because you are so young sometimes when you form these opinions. My opinion of, like I said earlier, of that if I wasn't working, I had no value was because in my home, if I was physically working, shoveling driveways, picking up pine cones, taking care of the children, I avoided abuse because I was being productive. So I got to stay out of abuse. That was my duck and hide, like be busy. And I've seen myself do it my whole life. And they're like, wow, you're really on fire. You've got a lot of energy. And really, I'm just running from like somebody who's not trying to abuse me anymore. It's funny how we bring those people with us. When people of our past have not around anymore to hurt us, sometimes we invent it and do it ourselves. I remember even finding that moment, and this is when it shifted for me. I was driving home at who knows what time in the morning, and I shouldn't have been driving. And I remember, I'm talking like 7 in the morning. I had to go to work at 8. And I had shows, my excuses. Oh, I'm doing shows, and we had a late night show and whatever. And that morning, I just sat there and I'm like, I literally have to get to work in 30 minutes. And I haven't slept. And I said out loud, why am I doing this to myself? And my answer came instantly. Thank you, Spirit. Because no one else is here to do it. And that was like a truck in the face moment. And I'm like, it wasn't a truck in the face. I got off light. Was that I was now abusing myself. And that's a horrendous thing to think about. It's like, oh, all these ways that I have found to manufacture abuse to myself. How delightful. And just that moment shifted. But if I didn't ask the question, why am I doing this? And now I've learned to ask a lot, like, why am I upset right now? Why am I angry right now? Why am I, pursuing something that seems fruitless? Why am I, chasing relationship? Why, anything that doesn't feel good, I'm like, well, why am I doing that? And I keep asking why until I get to what that thing in the fridge is. What is that root thing? And then I can deal with it. I can bring it out into the open and say, okay, I'm going to love this. I'm going to love this whole. And another way that shifts is I had a few weeks ago, it was right before the holidays, is on the other side it rained like tremendously. Like it always rains over there, but I'm like, it was bad. That my little studio that I have, which is a little Hana unit, flooded. And it was just the reason I found out is because I got up to pee in the middle of the night and I stepped into like 2 inches of water, which really makes you have to pee, by the way, BT dubs. It doesn't change any of that for you, okay? So I woke up in that water, and what was kind of a miracle is I walked across the room and I turned the light switch up on the wall, although I was standing right next to my lamp. I walked all the way across and kind of like, it was just 6 feet in, so the middle of the room didn't have a lot of water. I turned the light on, I'm like, it's sweating. And at one point, I would have been so angry about this. And I'm like, Thank God I have all those towels I thrifted because I think I have a thrifting problem. I'm really hard on myself about it, but I had like these stacks of towels. I don't know, I collect towels. And so I grab all these towels. I'm like, ooh, I've got all these towels. Look, they came in handy. And I have too many pillows. I might need those. So as I'm, trying to push the water back to the wall at like whatever 2:33 in the morning, I'm actually like I was like, I'm just gonna be grateful about this. And I kept trying to find everything I could to be grateful about this situation. I'm like, well, at least if my house is flooding, I'm in Hawaii. It's warm because this would have been a skating rink if I was up north. It was back in Chicago. If I still would have had a flood, it would have been a whole different story. So I did that and took care of it, and we got bags and everything. But what the cool thing was, because whatever miracle by miracle, when I stood up, I still went over and turned that light switch on. I had no idea that my lamp, that outlet was on a drop cord or an extension cord, and it was underwater. So had I stood in that water and turned that on, it would have been a whole different story. So it's just by that little miracle, that moment of me not doing what I normally do, but instead walking all the way across there. Maybe it was because it just made me had to pee worse. I don't know why. All I know is that the Spirit had me. And then I think about what a miracle that was. And every time that I feel like I can't trust anybody else, or I can't trust Spirit, and I can't trust my own instincts, my instincts saved me, Spirit saved me, all of that took care of me. Because it would have been a whole different Christmas for my family, or a whole different world for me, which I'm not sad about because I think it's pretty awesome on the other side, but I haven't been there yet. Um, so it was an interesting time. Now, at the same time, my daughter had a friend in town, and I told her what was going on, obviously, and she's in the space that I used to be in, and I can see it when you see somebody still in a place where they're dealing with some of the things you've already dealt with, and you're like, oh, come with me, it's so much easier here, And she was in that place, so I was telling her what was happening. She's like, oh, and you should be mad at the landlord, and all these reasons that I should be upset about the thing. I said, I'm alive. I'm not upset about anything. And I had so many towels. I found the reasons to be joyful. Pat myself on the back. Good thrifter. And then she was dealing with some things in her life. So I was like, well, let's take that event, because events are neutral. The flood was neutral. How I dealt with it changed things. How I dealt with it is where I stand in that flood, right? And she was talking about some things that she was dealing with. And I said, well, it could be the way you're taking it, or you could look at it a whole nother way. You could create a story, because really you're making it up. You don't really know what other people think about the situation. Like, oh, my family thinks this and my people think that. I'm like, well, you don't really know that. You're creating that truth, which makes you feel bad. But if you create another truth about this, create a different story, just make it up, because you're making up the first one that makes you feel good. Like, well, my family's all busy doing different things, and I raise such great children that they're independent and have wonderful relationships. So they're doing their own thing and they're thriving. Instead of, for instance, my family doesn't care about me, they're ignoring me, I'm not as important as whatever. I'm like, wow, you raise these great, strong children that are having thriving lives. How beautiful is that? And she turned to me, and I thought this was so beautiful. She turned to me, she goes, yeah, but at what point is it just delusion? And I went, oh, at every point it's delusion. Thank you for that term, because that's what it is. It's delusion. Which one do you want? Pick your delusion. Like, but the thing is, it's yours. You could choose it. And it shifted, because I was actually supposed to be doing a talk on the other side of the island. I had no idea. I just agreed to do it, and I had no idea what I was going to talk about, which is another reason why I was really excited why I'm calling it the Delusion Tour, because this happened literally within days before I was going to give a talk that I had no topic for. And I knew life would give me something. So I am at least at places like something's going to happen and I'm going to have something. So I was like, well, now all my clothes are soaked and, this friend, but I just love that the idea of like, and I think that's why a lot of people are resistant to that concept. It's like, well, it's just delusional. And like, so is religion. I mean, like, people made that up, and millions of people have done millions of things based on something somebody made up. Right. So it's like, and I think she got it. She's getting it. She's moving through that space. But I think a lot of people, not the people here clearly, don't understand that they have that choice. That anytime you're telling yourself a story about things. Again, I heard a couple of people say what they felt people from the outside were thinking and feeling about them, right? like that people may or may not want me here, that people are judging me, blah, 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 blah. Usually people are only judging you as a mirror to themselves. Like if I'm judging somebody, I'm like, or anybody else, they're just, we're all trying to figure out how we rate. So if somebody's in front of me and they're judging me, they're doing something like, well, is she smarter than me, prettier than me, has more wrinkles than me, is she taller, like whatever their value system is. Does this person have more money? Do they have more knowledge? Do they have, just to see where we are. That's usually what people are doing. They're not really judging you for you. They're judging you for how they feel they rate based on their own value system. Does that make sense the way I'm saying it? So yeah, again, part of the 4 agreements, right, is I don't take it personally. It's like if somebody doesn't like my vibe, that's cool. There was a long time that I would be running for that. Like, you don't like me, you have to be my guy, but that's not going to be authentic anyway. Just learning to be authentic is me going, if somebody's going to judge me, that's okay. They have to do that to figure out where they are, or, to bounce that energy off of me. And that's great. That's where they are. I love that person where they are, but I want them to love me where I am, which is also my self-care. I think if we radiate towards the people that radiate towards us, as long as we're living from our heart space as much as we can. And when I come out of that, and that's the thing that I do every day, is I try and get from here to here every day, because this one's organization. This wants everything to go the same way, to go the way it's supposed to. This one wants to have a good time. And when things go off the rails, it's because it's supposed to. Everything isn't. How boring would it be if everything went the way it was supposed to be? We would handle about a week of that. And we would be so bored if everything went exactly the way you wanted it to. It would be no challenge. There would be no growth. There would be no new things. There's also be no art, no music. If everything went the way. Life is messy. If you look at what the creator does, go out there and hang out in the woods, you will be filthy. It's messy. Creation is messy. Birth is messy. Art is messy. Life is messy. And we cannot control it as much as we try to. But you know what? We can clean it up. There's a point where I'm like, okay, let's get the broom out because this went too far, and take care of it. But it's all a messy process. And the more that we let go of the fact that it should be clean or simple or easy, the easier it is to retell our story of how great we're doing in a life that is very difficult and messy. The fact that any of us are still here and somewhat sane is a miracle. Because it's a crazy life. Not even what we've all been through. Whatever got you here today is your whole life of experiences. And there is no manual for it. And the people who did write ones, we all know what those are. So your life, your experience is just yours. There's nobody else doing it. You're on your own, in the sense of like nobody else can feel what you feel and do what you do and have the gifts that you have. And they're so beautiful. And nothing and no limiting belief should ever keep those from coming out fully. Because whatever you are here for, it is to be you, to be that experience of the highest source. And that's what's beautiful. And that's what's hard about limiting beliefs, is that we made those up at some point, and we can unmake those up. We can uncreate them. Which is my favorite threat to ever say to anything, is like, I will uncreate you. And I mean that about my beliefs. Is I created you, I will uncreate you. I do not need to think this about myself, because I know nothing about what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't know how I'm supposed to make my income. I don't know how I'm supposed to do any of the things that I'm supposed to do here. But I do know that I'm supposed to be me, because I am this experience of the greatest source of creation. You all are each an experience of creation. And how gorgeous is that? If every single being is their own experience of creation, of the creator creating itself and having other experiences. I believe that we come in here to be able to have the things you can only have in humans form, like to smell, to have all the sensory things, to fall down, to fall in love, to have our heart broken, to it's like to eat cotton candy and have it on your belt, on your tongue, to see the first snow, to see when a whale breaches. All of those experiences come with this body that we have to upkeep, which is such a pain. And it's like get older, really such a pain. But we've got to feed this thing. We've got to shower it. We got to drag this, skin suit around just so that we could be in human form. So why would we miss any of that by all these things about worried, especially about external things, what other people think of us? Nobody's really thinking that much about us, to be honest. It's kind of a paranoid thought. Like, oh, everybody's judging me. No, they're not. They're like, do I need more coffee? I might have to poop before this. That's what people are thinking. They're not thinking about you. Everybody's thinking about their own body and their own mind and where they fit in the world. They're just thinking about themselves for the most part. We're all pretty narcissistic in that we are kind of consumed with the self because it takes a lot for the self to carry the self around and to look through these eyes and you look through your eyes. It's a lot of work to tone down the monkey mind. That's exhausting. Who has time to think about me? They are so busy being them. And that was the greatest thing for me to give me permission to be who I am and to be able to go out on stage because I used to have horrible stage fright. Instead, I'm like, nobody really cares. The people who care about me care how I'm doing. They don't really care what I'm doing. And then everybody else cares, how do I make them feel when I'm in their presence? That's all anybody really cares. I mean, honestly, the people you want to hang out with are people that make you feel good when you're around them. Right? Make you feel worthy or make you feel like you're important or make you feel seen. So now I know I don't have to not age because I've tried to control that. It doesn't work. That my job when it comes to other people, I don't have to be a taskmaster. I don't have to do all these things to be loved. And I don't have to be skinnier. I don't have to be taller. I don't have to be smarter. I just have to let other people be who they are in my presence, wherever they are in their journey. If that means they're in a struggle place, then I can sit with them. That means they're in a place of height and fun. I just want other people to feel like they're okay to be in my presence, wherever they are. And that's the greatest gift I can give somebody. And that doesn't take anything from me. My self-care is still intact. Right? That's my greatest gift. And that's the greatest gift of all of us in humanity, is just to be there for other people in the way that they can be themselves. Even just like listening and all of us listening so intently to everybody else's share this morning. That to me is the most beautiful thing. That right there is us all being in our humanity. That's us all being at our highest self and at our highest power. It's just to listen and be there for one another. And it's so beautiful. And to know that that is you at your highest self with all the things that we have hidden in our closet, all the little things that we have that we may not like about ourselves. We can be there for one another. We can have that space for ourselves. We can have that space for other people. And we don't need all the stories because it's really that simple. We just got to be here. You know? Does that make sense? Just to be, and anything that's outside of that is what we're doing to ourselves. So that's my story, and I create a new one for myself every day. You know, sometimes like I'm just going to wing it, which is usually what I do because that's all you can do anyway because things are going to happen around you anyway. Stuff's going to go off the rails. There's going to be stuff coming at you no matter how well you plan your day and how much stuff that you have in your docket. And I have everything planned out. I did it for a long time because, you know, people like myself, I love to be an A personality type for a while there until I realized this is exhausting because nothing goes as I plan it. This is kind of crazy making. But now I'm like, I'm going to wing it. I'm like, ooh, that went way better than I thought it might. Again, it's another way to do it, right? It's another story. It's like, I'm just going to take everything as a surprise. You know, and if something bad happens, those things that I fear that I would stay up at night about, I trust myself now. I trust spirit enough now. And I trust other people enough now to know that we'll deal with it when it happens. I'm not going to torment myself all the time about loss or these other things. If it happens, let me feel it then. And let me deal with it then. For instance, so if somebody's in a relationship and you've been cheated on before and you're always expecting the other person to cheat, that entire relationship, you're feeling the pain of somebody doing that to you when it hasn't happened. Instead, trust them and love them. And then if it does happen, then you can hurt then. That's just that's my easiest way of saying it. But we drag this pain of something happening a lot of times with us when nothing has happened. You know, especially if we've suffered great losses, it's really hard to let that go so we aren't dragging it along and walking in loss all the time or expecting another one to come. When it comes, you're going to be able to handle it then. And then also trusting in other people. When this flood happened, I also couldn't stay there at the place I was at. The other great thing is because I was running where I was, I had met this young couple that had a place that they weren't in. And I texted them out of nowhere. I was like, hey, my place flooded. They're like, go stay at the house. I had a free place to stay instantly, just from people I met literally weeks before. So community took care of me. It's all right there. We have access to it. And I think that's the thing about a new story is when you tell yourself a new story, you also get rid of all your resistance to the old one because it really is resistance. And I think you said that very well. It's like if we get out of resistance, then things can flow to us. Things are already flowing. We're just like, not now. That's scary. I might get hurt, you know. And we'll pray for it, like, oh, please bring it. Like, no, because actually having it, then it would solve all our problems. And then where would we be? Who would we be? You know? So that's the best part. It's like, yeah, I can be problem free if I choose to. You know, there are things that are going to happen. Money's not always going to be in the bank. I'm going to get hungry. Something might break down here in my car. But until it happens, it's not mine to own. And I don't have to stay in that space of worry, fear, pain, lack, loss, any of that stuff. I'll just wait for it. Because as far as we've gone, you guys have all dealt with everything so far because you're here. And I think that's what's beautiful. Give yourself a pat on the back of what you've already been through. It's like, I'm still kicking. And you got out of the house today? You know, I mean, sometimes there's days where that's not even a possibility. You know, you came out, you came here, and you shared. So thank you for your humanity. And and I'm going to close this off with the way I open is. I now actually, when we give ourselves titles, we kind of live up to that. I have shifted the story of what it means to be the girl who enjoys life the most for me. It's no longer the girl who's the biggest partier. Now I actually do enjoy life the most for me, for what Keli Semelsberger, how my stories can be to where how I can enjoy life and to give energy to the things that matter the most to me, not to anybody else or society. I love to swim in the ocean and give a lot of time for that. So I make sure that I do what I love. I spend it around people that I love. I spend it coming to be with people that inspire me with their humanity. And that's who I want to be around. So yeah, to have the life that you love, pick those things and do them with reckless abandon, because the most important things are often the most trivial, but they're the ones that make you feel great. And I heard a lot of that here today too. It's like, yeah, I feel, we feel a little guilty and we feel just awesome or do just stuff for us and we have our boundaries and all that stuff. Oh my gosh, celebrate that place. Have your boundaries and bring all your toys in and just have a great time with it. Right? Because then you are uplifted. Then you go out in the world and you're like, look at all this I have to give. I have all this energy to give. I have all this because I took care of me and I played with the things that make me feel happy. And so I invite you all to also enjoy life the most. And that's my Delusion Tour talk. That's it. Thank you. You ready? Move this back. Do you want to just use that one?
Let's use this mic.
Do you want me to just take this stuff?
I found that very, very heartfelt and inspiring. It's like, oh, I really got it. So
Good.
Thank you. I mean, it was
Thank you.
real. It was not just talking, and it was fun.
That's my goal.
So would this be a good time to see how many people would be interested in going to the workshop this
And
afternoon?
I can do that after we're the whole service is done too. So. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. That's important. So yeah, if anybody wants to do a workshop later on today, let me know. If I have 2 o'clock, if I have 6, we can do it. I think we're at 5, so we probably won't do it. Okay. It's basically it's doing improv. It's doing improv exercises. It's just
2,
adult improv.
3, 4, 5.
And if I don't have enough now, I'm going to reschedule to do it another one later. So if you are ready to do it now and we don't have enough, because it's not going to be as fun for all the participants if we don't have 6. It's just takes too much energy from you guys. So if not, I'll reschedule it and we'll do it when we have more notice and everything. So no worries.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll do them when I know, and we'll make sure we have it.
All right.
A lot of time.
It feels like it's not happening today.
Right.
So upcoming
Close.
events at New Thought Center of Hawaii. The next 3 Sundays. Next Sunday is Rafe Perelman, program and music. Using voice as our spiritual ally. There'll be a special get acquainted potluck to welcome Rafe afterwards. So probably most of you have heard a little bit about Rafe by now. He's a kind of a world celebrity singer that it's kind of almost unusual he'd come to a small venue like this. But he has agreed to, and he'll be here. And he also is performing at the Pyramid House, and he's been on things like America's Got Talent and all that stuff. And he has an incredible voice. On 121, Linda Boozer, her topic is grounding joy amidst all that is. Lessons learned from the walk on Camino de Santiago, and music by Colleen Yost. Also, Ralph will be, of course, on his talk, will be doing the music. On 128, Osman Iladnani, Change Yourself, Change the World, music by Julia and Bear Usinger. We have weekly classes, Monday 4:30 to 5:30 with Jen Ann Wong, Tai Chi and Qi Gong, $15. Classes resume tomorrow, January 8th. Monthly events, we have produce giveaway right after service. That's second Sunday. That I guess would be next week. Crystal Bowl meditation, second Sunday next week on 114, 9:30 a.m. in the Hanua room, which is right in there. It's a free event with optional donation to New Thought. Special events. We still have things left over from our New Year's sale. They're right over here on the table. A lot of items are pay for what you wish to pay. Cash, checks, and credit cards accepted. All profits go to the New Thought Center. And this will be happening immediately after the service. It seems to be semi-happening now. If you'd like to be on Sunday on the 28th, Osman Iladmani has a meditation class at 1:30, which is free. That's on the 28th. If you want to be on our mailing list, sign the guest book over here on the little table, or sign up on the website, www.newthoughtcenterofhawaii.com. And I don't think we're going to go out to lunch today, the speaker, because she needs to get back to the other side of the island. So are there any other New Thought related announcements? Okay.
Again, my name is Leah, and I have been on the island 7 months. And because of all you lovely people and having community with spiritually based people, I am inviting any of you that are interested to come to my son's celebration of life and paddle out. Kumu Kiala Ching, thanks to Pasha's email to him, is performing the ceremony on the sand. We need to meet at 7 a.m. at Ho'okana, and there will be a paddle out after he does the ceremony. There will be music and his presentation, and then whoever has a watercraft of whatever size you have, even a noodle will do, we are going to paddle out, and the ashes will go there, and there will be a potluck afterwards. So if you're interested, I haven't sent the evites yet, but if you're interested you are my family, you're my spiritual family. I'm including all of you. Anybody's interested, it's Wednesday morning, the 24th of this month, at 7 a.m. Just come to me and I'll take your email and then I can officially send you an invite. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll give you mine. We are passing the coal bowl now. Feel free to be spontaneously. Give as much as you wish.
Every day the world is new, and the tale I tell is too. Well, I'm telling a new story. It's the story of my life. I tell it any way I like. I'm telling a new story. I can make up anything if it causes my soul to sing. With wealth, adventure, beauty, love, and glory. Everything that pleases me, put together perfectly. I'm telling a new story. I would do it every day, send my soul out to play. I'm telling a new story. I believe that dreams come true, so you see they always do. I'm telling a new story. Like a sovereign on a throne, looking over all I own. Everything I love I see before me. Living in a fantasy, that's the new reality. I'm telling a new story. I'm telling a new story.
Thank you, Dick. I think we're ready for the farmer circle. Grab hands and we'll close the service with our closing song, Hawaii Aloha.
Thank you. Thank you. Everything I played during the service, yeah. I played a couple of other songs in the intro because I decided I should play some things that are just fun. Last time I was here, somebody said, I don't know who it was, they're probably not here today, but they said they really liked Will You Love Me when the carburetor's busted. So I played the Will You Love Me when the carburetor's busted. Will you love me when I shift my gears. I enjoy this instrument. I don't play it very often because when I'm at other things I do, I play an electric. I hardly ever play this one. Thank you. Hey, you could probably tell me. I'm probably playing that last song in the wrong key, aren't I? It's too low for the women. You know, I think everybody struggles with that one. Well, I'm going to try A next time. I'm playing it in G. It feels too. Well, when you got a mixed group of men and women, yeah, it's going to be too high for the guys and too low for the women. No, it's something I wrote years ago, and I forgot about it. And then when she used that phrase, I said, "No, I have a song for this." But luckily for me, I recorded the song on YouTube years ago, and I did one of those videos where all the lyrics. So I went around the corner and I didn't know all the words. I haven't played that song in I haven't played it probably 10 or 12 years. And so I was like, okay, I need to do that song if I can. Yeah, well, I remember most of it. There was part of it that was like, I don't remember all the lines. But yeah, I thought, oh, well, that's a good. I was catching right because I always liked it. But it went out of my mind. So I had to think when I was thinking what songs I have for the new project, I didn't remember that. I liked the song. It wasn't that I meant